In Act 2, Scene 2 of The Merchant of Venice, Launcelot Gobbo works for Shylock as a servant, but he is out on the street wondering whether or not to leave his job and seek a new master. In fact, he says, "Certainly my conscience will serve me to run from this Jew, my master." But he decides to remain with Shylock because it is the honest and responsible thing to do, even though Launcelot hates Shylock. He continues, "To run away from the Jew, I should be ruled by the fiend, who, saving your reverence, is the devil himself. Certainly the Jew is the very devil incarnate, and in my conscience is but a kind of hard conscience to offer to counsel me to stay with the Jew." The fiend is Launcelot's impulse to run away. Launcelot talks with his father, old Gobbo, and reveals his desire to leave Shylock's employ. Bassanio appears, and old Gobbo tells him about how Launcelot is unhappy in his current position and wishes to serve another employer. Bassanio becomes impatient with their wordiness, but Launcelot steps in and asks Bassanio for a job, a wish Bassanio grants. Launcelot is overjoyed and reads a positive if unlikely fortune in his own palm before leaving to give Shylock notice. Gratiano finds Bassanio and asks to accompany him to Belmont. Bassanio is afraid Gratiano is too wild, too rude and bold of voice, and that his behavior might ruin Bassanio's chances with Portia. Gratiano promises to put on a sober habit and behave himself. Bassanio agrees to let Gratiano come along and allows Gratiano this night to indulge his merriment without judgment. Launcelot's name is spelled Lancelet in the first published versions of the play. A lancelet is a small sword or man-at-arms, which is descriptive of his lower position as a house servant. Some modern versions of the play use the spelling Lancelot, which alludes to the heroic knight Sir Launcelot of the legends of King Arthur, creating an ironic contrast with the indecisive and comical Shakespearean character Launcelot Gobbo. Launcelot describes his objection to Shylock by saying, "My master's a very Jew, and that he is famished in Shylock's service." These lines imply that Shylock does not feed Launcelot sufficiently, or that he does not pay Launcelot enough to feed himself. Either way, the description plays into the negative stereotype of Jewish people as greedy and stingy. Launcelot and his father's silliness, including the comic palm reading near the end of the scene, are an example of the play's inherent ambiguity. It may be interpreted that these foolish and uneducated men are meant to be superior to Shylock, underlining his inferiority in this society.